Alright, so my name is Spencer and we have a 6-month update for you for yet another zombie survivor. So there's been quite a bit added to the game since the last time we looked at it. We have a new class, which I'll get to later, called the Pyro class. I've unlocked everything here. I like playing as this class. We are going to take that as the starter. They've also added the Vile Wasteland map, which is new, and it's got some unique enemies on it, and there's a giant worm that's a environmental hazard on that map. It'll damage you, it'll damage enemies. It's interesting, and I haven't unlocked these other modes on this map, but I do have them unlocked on the isolated city. But basically hardcore is much stronger enemies. It's 10 minutes long instead of the default 20 minutes. I've played that a few times on the other map. It's a good mode. Boss rush is pretty self-explanatory. A lot of mini bosses will show up on this map. There are still regular enemies, but it's a lot of mini bosses. I do like this mode too. And one hit, again, self-explanatory. It's only 5 minutes long. One hit will kill you, and the level ups happen a lot faster in that mode. So we're just gonna go with the default mode and start here. And I've been having a pretty good time with this game. Now the Pyro, I think, starts out, if we can find some enemies, a little slow. I think the axe attack speed is a little bit slow, although it does hit a large circular area around the Pyro here. And get a level up here. So we have the fire axe, we have a Molotov cocktail, we have this boost to different stats, and we have a pipe bomb. I want to get the fire axe upgraded as soon as possible, and I don't think any of these upgrades have it. But if you have some sort of upgrade that will increase one of the stats on the right there, when you highlight that particular level up, whatever ability you want to take, or weapon, or whatever it is, it will highlight on the right hand side here which stats are affected by that. So one thing I want to mention is, if you have arachnophobia, this would normally be a spider. It's now just this sort of blob. So I turned that on just in case anybody watching has arachnophobia. So you don't have to worry about that. But normally those are spiders. I don't remember when they added that. I do want to get Firewalk, because that will set the ground on fire as I'm walking around here. And it used to be that on the upgrade, or on the level up screen, you only had 3 options. Now you have 4, which is a lot nicer because you have more options, and that's good. We'll go with a fire axe here. They have also added a manual aim. I of course don't have a gun, so I can't use it, but there is a manual aim if you want to actually aim like this. I just hit the middle mouse button. I can aim at whatever I want. I don't want that on all the time. That's not the best way to play it, but if there is an enemy that's really bothering you, or like a mini boss or something like that, you can manually aim, and that's really helpful. That's nice to have. I'm gonna try to sneak by here and get some of these points. One thing... Oh, here's the worm. That little red indicator area shows up, so you can get out of the way, hopefully in time, so you don't get hit by it. This is also a new mechanic. You have these power-ups that will drop over time. You have to collect 4 of them, and there's a little... I can show you the little bar on the upper left-hand side, and they'll just give you little stat boosts here. So even after you give me more XP. Even after you have done all of the survivor upgrades, you can still get stat upgrades, and you can see this little yellow thing here. I'm trying to pick that up. That's the military training. That's in the lower, or the upper left-hand side here, so you can see how close you are to getting the next one. Give me the blowtorch. But what I wanted to say was, in the endless mode, they have added... Oh, I really wanted the weapon upgrade. Give me the pipe bomb. In the endless mode and in the boss rush mode, they have added a new mechanic called fatigue. So basically what was happening before was that people would get runs that are so strong, let me go with the flamethrower, that they could reach a point where they were just standing still and they couldn't die. They were doing so much damage and enemies couldn't get close. Well, they could get close enough to them, but they couldn't do enough damage to the player to kill them. So you would have people making these incredibly powerful runs, and then they'd get up and walk away, and they can just sit there for hours and not lose. That no longer works anymore, because once you reach the time, the minimum, not time limit, but the minimum amount of time that you need to be in endless mode, which is 20 minutes, or 10 minutes in boss rush mode, the amount of damage that enemies can do to you all at once starts to increase. So at some point an enemy will hit you. If you try to get up and walk away, those enemies will be able to do more damage to you than you can heal. So you can't just sit there and... I don't actually want that. I want the engineer. So you can't just sit there and not lose. The other thing I wanted to mention was they've added these new options at the bottom of the screen here. You can re-roll, which has always been there. You can also skip if you want to. You can lock down, which essentially what that means, it doesn't work with characters, but essentially what the lockdown means is if you want a particular upgrade to show up the next time that you level up, that one will show up, and banish basically means that upgrade will not show up anymore. So if you're trying to build your characters in a particular way and you don't want certain upgrades, you can try to make that happen with banishes and rerolls and lockdowns and stuff like that. I don't want to die right now. So that's really nice, because before you would just be presented with 3 options. You could re-roll it if you didn't like any of the options, but you had to pick something. Give me the taser. So it's nice to have that. But yeah, the fatigue, adding the fatigue is nice to see. I'm hoping that at some point they add leaderboards to the game, and this will hopefully help with making the leaderboards a little bit more fair. Because the thing with leaderboards is that, you know, you'll always have a bunch of people with normal scores, and it's like, okay, they put in the work, they were trying to do the best that they can. And then there's always a couple at the very top that are so ridiculously more, or ridiculously higher than everything else. And it's like, okay, well, that person was clearly cheating. So this should hopefully help a little bit with that. I guess if people use cheats or hacks or whatever to get a higher score, it doesn't matter, but it's nice that they're trying to do something with that. What do I want here? I guess the taser. I don't want to level up the character yet, because then I'll get a 3rd character, and then that kind of dilutes all of the options that I have. That is another way that you can try to make sure that you're getting the character level ups that you want by purposefully not picking up that new survivor at the green indicator, so that your options when you level up aren't diluted by a whole new character's upgrades. You also have, I didn't mention this before, but sometimes you'll get these like big mummy enemies that show up. I think they do quite a bit of damage if they hit you, but it's just like another thing you gotta try to avoid. So it's kind of nice to see little stuff like that. I think we did... Yeah, I think we increased max health earlier. So I guess I will do that again. Oh, and while I'm here, you can see max health. It gets highlighted over here. There's also little tooltips, which is nice. So if you're not sure what something is, you can look at it. But stopping power, you can see weapon critical damage is highlighted, movement speed highlighted, weapon cooldown reduction highlighted. I kind of wish that this would just say weapon reload reduction, because I mean it says reload time right in the tooltip. I feel like if it said weapon reload, it would be a little bit less confusing, maybe. Or, not that it's confusing, but it would be more consistent. You know, on the stat page it says reload, and then in the tooltip it also says reload. So you're not mixing words. I want to get the chest, and I want to pick up this magnet. Okay. Give me electrocution. I'm gonna get this chest over here. Give me increase health regeneration. I'm not planning on taking a medic, so I guess I'll get a tiny amount of health regeneration. Upgrade that. Tesla here. They have also added elemental damage. So when you open up those chests, there is the possibility that there's an item. They added a bunch of new items too in these chests. There is the possibility that you'll have an upgrade that increases elemental damage. It could increase all elemental damage, or it might just increase one type. We'll see if there's anything in here. There is. We can increase electrical damage, but decrease chemical damage. That's fine, because the medic does chemical damage, and I've got fire and electrical damage right now. So that's fine by me. Give me ability cooldown. And I feel like I've talked very fast, and I've talked through basically everything that I want to talk through already. But I'm very... I might die here. I'm very pleased with how things have been going with this game so far. I'm gonna take the tank. I'm very happy with it. They've added, like I said, a bunch of items. They've done balancing. They've got a new character. They've got a new map. I think there's like 3 more maps that they still want to add to the game. Maybe even more after that if they want to. They could add more classes as well. I think there's space for 2, maybe 3 more classes. Ooh. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm having a good time with it right now. Like I said, I think adding leaderboards would be nice, because it would give you something else to do. You know? You can try to keep track of your own kind of high scores, how many zombies you've killed, how long you've lasted, but it would be nice to have some stats that are saved that you can actually look at and go, okay, this was actually the longest time that I've survived. I want to try to beat that. Or I killed 4,000 zombies this time. I want to try to go for 5,000. Pick up some of this here. Give me the bombing strike. Bombing strike is extremely useful. It can clear out a lot of enemies. Well, I don't want to take the chemical damage. Can we actually, you know what? This is a good opportunity. We can banish this one. I'm not gonna want chemical damage anyway, because nobody does any chemical damage. I guess I'll just take elemental damage. And the pyro, I think this is the engineer with the electricity damage. and the medic, I believe, are the only classes that do elemental damage. Oh no, wait, that's not true. The Huntress can do freezing damage if you choose the right level upgrades when you level up. She can shoot bows that freeze enemies, and the medic can get freezing damage too if, again, you do the right upgrades. So I am having a good time. I don't know that there's anything else that I wanted to add, actually. I feel like I've gotten through everything pretty quickly here. Just trying to get all these upgrades here. Ooh. I would like to see in future maps more elemental, or not elemental, more environmental hazards that you can try and lead enemies into to kill them or trap them or do whatever. Give me the electrical turret. I would like to see more of the environmental hazards so that you can, there's a little bit more strategy as you're moving around the map. You can, you know, be aware that, like, oh, there's this kind of area that I can not trap them in, but lead them into, and it'll do a lot of extra damage, or it'll distract them or something like that. Like, we already have that with abilities, with several different abilities. Like with the Huntress, there's a decoy bomb that you can get. I'm gonna go for this magnet. There's a decoy bomb that you can get that will attract a bunch of enemies to it, and I'm gonna get the saw blades. And not only will that decoy explode and do a lot of damage, but as they're sitting there trying to go after the decoy, you can just hammer them with a bunch of damage. I have noticed in particular with this saw blade for the tank, these saw blades are a lot bigger than they used to be, and they move faster than they used to. I remember these being pretty small and slow. I think this is a much better upgrade because it actually seems useful now. It's bigger, it can hit more things, it moves around faster, so it's actually can actually do some damage with this. Trying to get to this chest here. Let's see. Well, I don't want... Oh, that's not the one I wanted. That's okay. I'll just take that one. What I wanted was the banish, because I don't want the ice. Oh no, wait, that's a -20 fire modifier. Oh, I'm so stupid. No. I thought it was just an increase to the freezing damage. I'm so dumb. That's okay. I can get plus 10% elemental damage. That'll maybe even it out a little bit. But yeah, I'm really content with the direction that this game is going in. Let's do a little manual aim for a little bit. Try to go after this boss here. I'm very content with how things are going with this game, and I am interested to see where it goes from here. I don't recall exactly how long they said it would be in early access off the top of my head. We are 6 months in. I'm expecting probably like a year, so another 6 months. And if it's another 6 months of these kinds of updates and adding the content to the game, I am very interested to see where this goes. They have talked about adding more upgrades, more characters that do elemental damage, so you can find different synergies with a group of survivors. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about this, and I don't believe that there's anything else I wanted to add here. So So I think we're good for now. I think I'm gonna leave it here. So if you think this looks interesting and it's already on your wish list, keep it on the wish list. If it's not, I would add it to the wish list. I wouldn't buy it right now. I would wait because, you know, it's an early access game. It can change in any direction, good or bad. But I would absolutely wish list this. And if you're interested, you can subscribe to my channel here, and I will absolutely keep doing updates about this game so I can let you know how it's going. But things are heading in the right direction, so I will probably, hopefully, see you again in another... I will not accidentally take this. Or no, wait, no, that's chemical damage down, electrical damage up. Okay. I will absolutely be putting out more update videos, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. I'm gonna try and survive to the 20-minute mark here and not get eaten by a worm.